During the next few weeks here at Beth Chavrim Shir Shalom, we have so many musical opportunities popping up. We are this week at services having the Aleph Beats an a cappella group out of Brown University. Next week during our stay treat, we always sing together during our retreats. We lift our voices in song, and next week in particular, we have Michelle Citron, who is phenomenal and amazing and such a big deal, coming and singing with us and teaching us. And then also on April 3rd, we have the Exponential Music Ensemble with Gilad Cohen, and he has come and taught us and shared music with us over and over again throughout the years. And it's always just a phenomenal experience. And one of the reasons I get so excited about these opportunities is because sometimes I think of our name, Bet Chaverim Shir Shalom, as a kind of a mission statement, right? Bet Chaverim, a house of friends, where we gather together and we have the opportunity to do that, Shir Shalom, and we sing a song of peace. And every time we lift our voices, every time we harmonize, or indeed every time we sing in unison, I think that opens up a new kind of an opportunity for peace. We connect in ways that we might not have been able to connect before. And I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about the depth of song within the Jewish tradition. In particular, I was thinking about the language that we use, and I'm doing that because this last week we had just this wonderful speaker, Sarah Bunin Benor, who was talking to us about different Judeo languages throughout the world and over time. So I was thinking about the word shir. Shir is the word for song or also poem in Hebrew. And so I wanted to introduce you to a new tool to show how deeply embedded this is in who we are. And so I was looking for how many times throughout the Torah this shoresh, this root, shin yud resh for shir or shira, shows up in Tanakh. Now, it's a little bit complicated, as all things Jewish are, because that root, shira, can have different permutations, right? In the same way that looking up the word song or sing or singing or sung, right? There are a lot of different permutations, and so when you're looking to find something, it can be complicated. So one of the first things I did was I went to my handy concordance. This is a concordance. A concordance is a book that tells you how many times and where a word appears in the Tanakh. This in particular, this concordance is not a Jewish one, and it's important to point that out. It includes, it says, the apocryphal and Deuteronomical books. So it is Torah, and it is Tanakh actually, but it is also the Apocrypha, so things like Maccabees and other books that we wouldn't necessarily consider part of the Tanakh. So I went in this one happens to be an English concordance. From the New Revised Standard Version. So this is as opposed to the King James Version or as opposed to different other translations of Tanakh. And it says that for the word songs, there are 39 iterations of the word songs. There are 92 iterations of the word song. And it tells you, it has a whole list of where to find those words. Now, again, one of the challenges is that this has like Revelations and Maccabees and some other texts. So that's not necessarily accurate. And we also had to go back and pick up sing, which is elsewhere in this particular text, and it says that sing, which also includes love song, sang, singers, singers, singing, sing, song, songs, sung, taunt songs, like jeering at somebody, show up 166 times. Again, I don't know that exactly gets to what we're looking for, and I don't know how much these two entries overlap. So the next thing that I did was I broke out my BDB. The Brown Drivers Briggs is a dictionary. This is an amazing tool, and it goes through and this is actually a lexicon, right? It's a dictionary, and it gives you all of the different usages of Hebrew words throughout the Tanakh. And the problem with this one is that it will tell me all the different usages, right? All the different constructs of the word. For example, for shir, shiri, my song, for the nouns and for the verbs and for different like had been sung, will have been sung in the Hebrew, all of those different things. But and it tells me a lot of the different verses where I will find these different versions of the word. But what it won't do is tell me the number of times a word appears. Okay, so then I looked for an online concordance, and I have to say there's this very cool thing, and as often happens with modern words. In Hebrew, the word for concordance is concordancia. It's a beautiful word. And alhatorah.org has a concordance where you can put in the shoresh or the Hebrew root, but then it asks you if you want it to be a verb or if you want it to be a noun. And what it told me was that shir or shirah shows up as a noun 90 times in the Tanakh, and the verb shir or ashira or nashira shows up 88 times. Okay, so what do I do with this information? What I do is I hold within me this amazing thread from our origins to today, at how important, how significant it is for us to lift our voices in song, for us to incorporate. Whether or not we have nice voices has nothing to do with it, by the way. It has to do with the way that music touches our spirit and connects us with something bigger than ourselves, whether it's the community, whether it's the divine. And I recognize the authenticity in what we do when we revel in song, when we feel ourselves spiritually moved through song, that is fundamentally a Jewish way to relate to the world, to each other, and to God. And so I hope that this brief little this study of shir will whet your palate, and that you will join us throughout the coming weeks in raising our voices with our house of friends. Shalom.